Hello, 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 and welcome to my world. Welcome to this. Really, I just want to talk about the energies that are coming up. We've got a lot going on, like really a lot going on. Now, we've got next week, we have got the eclipse, a full moon eclipse in Pisces, and we've also got the equinox at the end of the week. So there is a huge amount going on. I want to share what was coming through for me so that I can kind of give you the heads up and give you some ways that you can support yourself as much as possible. So astrologically it's big, but when I've pulled the cards, it's big. It's really, really big. So there's going to be a lot of rocking of foundations here, which is really, really important. And the reason for that is that there's this huge rebuilding going to occur because of it. Now, we are all at different places within that. So some of us have already initiated a huge change over the last 6 months to a year, like a real massive structural change in our lives. And so at the moment, you'll be navigating that change and probably still feeling in a void in that you're not quite sure where it is going, how it is going to play out, what the actual new is going to really look like. However, that will probably start to come through more into your awareness around January, February 2025. So it's not actually that far off, seeing how far 2024 has been. It's been so fast, so fast. As the energy just keeps on accelerating, we're having all these incredible solar storms, these solar flares, and we're all getting very much impacted, as is the earth as well. So there is a lot going on, and in this eclipse season, which we're in right now, what eclipses are, they are destiny accelerators. They are going to kind of fast track you. And because it's in Pisces, for many of us, it could well actually be more of an internal restructure, as in an internal triggers happening as opposed to external triggers happening. What I mean by that is that some of you may be going through a real kind of spiritual awakening on a whole nother level. Like, especially if you've been, which if you're watching this, you absolutely are, especially if you are spiritually aware, you're sensitive, then I feel that for many of us in that type of awareness, what's happening is it's like we're being pushed to step into a whole new reality in terms of our mission work, in terms of our purpose, in terms of our service work. Now, that, just as I say that, that's already ringing little bells inside of me. And the reason it's ringing bells inside of me is that I get a little bit concerned when we're talking about service work because of past life setups, past life contracts, where the service work has been really harsh, like Do you know what I mean? Like you've done vows of poverty, done vows of chastity, done vows of obedience. Now, this is not the service work I'm talking about. However, if you don't clear that, then that may well be how it starts to manifest, or has already been manifesting, because maybe you're trying to get your spiritual business off the ground, your healing business off the ground, or trying to take it to a whole nother level. But there's blocks. And often I find, and what I found for myself, is that it's because of these contracts, these vows, these past life situation, this past life karma. Now, here's the really amazing stuff that I want to share with you about this, is that this full moon eclipse in Pisces is really about it's really about completions and closures around soul contracts and karmic contracts, which that would definitely be part of that. And again, some of you may have been really working with that over the last year or so, but this is like coming to that critical point of really either it's coming up into your awareness. Like I had a whole thing over the weekend around, last weekend, around persecution, around speaking my truth, voicing what's important to me, to the point that I even burnt my throat, and I had this whole thing play out in my life around something dying. Now, what I'm trying to say is that we will get our triggers, however those triggers are, and the more you can just allow yourself to go into how it's making you feel, then the quicker you can move through whatever it is you're needing to clear within your energetic system. Because you cannot go out into the world more with your service work, whether that's healing, whatever that is for you, however you feel that, unless I feel not in a pure way, not in a fully integral way, when you've got those old soul contracts or vows, and the way I explain it often is like it's a hologram. It's like a certain setup, like a certain hologram in your energetic system, that all your decisions and everything you're doing gets filtered through, and you're not aware of it, or you might be slightly aware of it, but you're not quite sure how to clear it. So this, I feel, is what's happening to a lot of us as light workers, as empaths, as way showers, as warriors, however you view yourself and who you are. And, you know, this is why I feel there's going to be a lot of completions and closures, because the universe, your guides, your higher self is wanting you to step more into why you came here on this planet right now, right at this critical point of evolution. And so on the one hand, it's super exciting. I mean, like, this is what we came here for. This is, X amount of years that you've been on this planet. Been almost waiting in a way to get yourself into this position. I've been talking a lot about positioning, and that's kind of what I mean by that. It's like an energetic position. You need to get yourself into an energetic position, which means internal positioning within yourself where you are clear. Your energy is clear, and it's not being filtered through by old soul contracts and vows and pledges that you made, and perceptions that are then layered upon that over years and years and years, and lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. So this is why for many of us it's pretty intense right now, pretty intense. And I just want you to know that the universe is there supporting you. It's to support you to finally release those little pockets within your hologram that really are dragging you down. They're dragging you down. They're putting the brakes on your ability to shine your light. So just imagine you've got this incredible essence, this unique essence that only you have, that only you hold, and it's getting filtered through. This is the way I want you to see it, or one way you could see it. It's getting filtered through kind of blocks, like it's like coagulated. It's like it's densified. It's like it's solidified. It's like it's petrified energy that creates a density, which means the light is struggling to penetrate through. So not only is the light struggling to penetrate through in your hologram and come out and that frequency get out into the world, the frequency of you, that your unique essence, but also it's creating a holding pattern in your ability to pull down and become more aware of your higher self, become more aware of your guides, get more of that higher guidance. It's kind of blocking on both sides, right? So this, to me, because of the astrological aspects to this specific eclipse, because it's in Pisces, but also it's to do with the North Node, which is your destiny, and it's also conjunct Neptune. It's so much around the ethereal, around the spiritual, around your dreams, around messages. Like, that would be one of my suggestions, is about staying open to those messages, because remember, a lot of the time it's coming through your subconscious. So to me, working with the Black Madonna energy, working with the dark goddess energy, which really is about going into the void, right? So that you can connect more into your subconscious and clear what you need to do, but also be able to pull through those possibilities and the potentiality. But you can't do that, right, until you first decode. And this is all the work that we do inside Temple Activate, and I'll put some links down below, because that is open. I've reopened it up again for anyone who feels drawn to joining us, and that's the formula that we really work with inside the Temple, is this decode, recode, activate, decode, recode, realign. And it's this continuous cycling within our energetic system of releasing and letting go to be able to recode and bring in more light, and then to recalibrate from that point. So re-find a new sense of balance from that point. And we do that in all aspects of our being. So that's physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I use a lot of spiritual technology, as ascension technology, to support everybody inside Temple Activate to do that. I've been doing that for years and years and years. I think it's probably about 7 or 8 years now that I've been running Temple Activate. And I think, to me anyway, more and more, by just having that support network and like 24/7 access to, I think we got about 80 different activations in there, as well as all these different sacred sites that you can go to access sacred teachings, different codes, just to help keep accelerating you, as well as then recalibrating you with my holographic blueprint sessions that you get once a month with all of that. So next week just is huge. So just a couple of ways that I want to offer that you can support yourself in that. So one is because it's this eclipse in Pisces and it's all about these completions, these endings, the more, which is like it's like your very foundations are going to shift in one way or another, whether that's internally or whether that's externally, which then triggers the internal, right? It ends up being the same thing because your reality is created through your hologram. That's the essence. That's like absolute the essence of it. So when you restructure your energetic system, right, then your reality changes through that. So what I would suggest really as much as possible to journal every single day. That's the first thing I do every single day. I wake up, write any dreams if I remember them, journal. I'll pull some cards and then I'll just go within. The more you can go within, the more you can navigate this portal with as much ease, with as much grace, and with as much flow as possible. And it also, I found for myself, when I've gone through very, very big shifts within myself, and like literally my whole foundation has crumbled beneath me, what I found is that working in that way, and just keep tuning into my intuition and just following my inner guidance all the time, the amount of strength within yourself and within your ability to trust grows phenomenally. I mean, it's incredible. And that really, in a way, once you've gained that, it really is, to me, the only way to, especially living in the new earth frequencies, as they keep anchoring in more and more, and as we keep recalibrating to them more and more, it's not about following the rational logical. It's always about starting with the divine feminine first. Always, to me, always be guided first with your intuition, because your logical and rational can only work with your conscious mind. It can only work with your conscious mind, and your conscious mind is like the tip of the iceberg. When you see an iceberg in the sea, 90% is below the surface. That's your unconscious, that's your subconscious. It's also the superconscious. So all of that, including past life gifts and an incredible talents that you hold, is in the unknown that you can't see. So trying to making decisions and a rational, logical, literally actually doesn't make sense, because you're making it in such a narrow kind of framework. But to be able to make decisions from your higher self and from your intuition, it does take trust. So, and this is again what we do in Temple, it's a day-to-day building that trust within yourself, building that trust within your own abilities is what really gives you that inner strength. That's that inner strength and the faith and the trust, and that's the empowerment. That is the empowerment. So working with that every day, I would highly suggest getting out in nature as much as possible to kind of recalibrate your energy field to nature is super important. And any way that you can take time out for yourself, a bath, an Epsom salt bath, using essential oils, just breathing. Again, I would always recommend some sort of meditation to enable you to go within and connect within is really important. I would also be looking out for synchronicity. It's like whatever's going on in the outer, whatever comes into your awareness, just note it. And then see if you can connect the dots throughout the days, throughout this coming week, and see what you can start piecing together in terms of guideposts, in terms of signposts that your guides, your higher self, the universe is kind of pointing you in that direction. Of course, the more you can go internal, the more you can go within and connect up to your higher self, the better. Again, we do all of that inside of Temple Activate. But the more you can do that, the more you start getting the downloads, right? And this is the time for a lot of downloads, just because of the astrology, right? It's so big. So that would be my recommendations. I'm also going to put a link below for one of the programs I brought through Renaissance. I think it was the beginning of this year, actually, when I was going through huge, I was talking about the crumbling of my foundation. It's going through one of those huge, like a voluntary rug pull, shall we say. And I brought through Renaissance, this program, to support me and support anyone whilst they were going through that. So there's a lot of integrity in that program, in that it was completely, I completely understood what was going on to be able to support everybody through what, the triggers that are happening. So I'll put the link below for that as well. And just to say that then at the end of next week, we've got the equinox. So the equinox is all about a recalibration of coming back into balance. So, and the reason I call it a recalibration is because it's not about finding the old balance. You don't want to find the old balance, because you're starting to clear and shed a lot. So what we're trying to do now is find a new state of inner balance. And there's one particular sacred site that is absolutely phenomenal for doing that. And that I will share with you next week as we get closer to the equinox, just to support you. By the end of the week, you'll be wanting to try and get more and more this new state of balance as you're clearing, as you're delving deep, and pulling up what you need to pull to clear your patterning. I'm also doing, over the eclipse, which I'm really, really excited about, is a live planetary grid transmissions. I do these once a month. These are like service work, right? This is one of the ways that do service work. And it's one of the ways I support everyone else to be able to do service work. Because we're working with the planetary grids, but it kind of works on two levels, so everyone participates. One is that what's happening is that you are, by participating live, you need to come in live for this. What's happening is that you are like being that beacon of light within your grid point, wherever you are at that point that you're listening in live, as we connect into this sacred grid point. And we're going to Chartres. So Chartres is for those who don't know, it's Chartres Cathedral, which is in France. And Chartres is a sacred site. I've done 2 crystal Merkaba grid journeys to there. I call it like the upper chamber and the lower chamber. So the lower chamber is where it's connecting with the Black Madonna frequencies. And so I'm going to go into those teachings of the Black Madonna frequencies. But more importantly, it's not the teachings themselves, but it's the energy and the frequency of it. And that grid point really supportive of that. And so one is that you're just supporting the whole transmission through your light. The more crystallized your light, and again, I do a lot of work inside Temple Activate to do with light body activations and helping people understand the importance of the crystallization of your light body and what that actually involves in that whole process. But also it's supporting you because you are going to go through activations around that. So it's kind of happening on 2 levels. I keep the live planetary grid transmissions super affordable because it is live. You need to turn up live. And it's kind of, we're all working together, and because of your participation it supports me, and so that's why I keep it at a very reasonable cost. You will also find all of these activations and all of this sacred site work inside Temple Activate, which then you can access 24/7 whenever you wish to through that. So I wish you a very, very powerful time next week. I wish you a lot of grace. I wish you a lot of flow. And I wish for you that whatever needs to reveal itself, whatever your next step is in your destiny work and in your ascension process, that it reveals itself to you in a very beautiful way, in a very powerful way, and in a way that is very loving and is easily assimilated for you. And I wish for you that you have the courage to follow through with what is coming up for you, and that you move powerfully forwards with that, and that you shine your light in your own unique way, in the way that you're guided, and in your own timing that feels right for you, because this is where so many of us are rising. We are rising, and it's time to claim that within ourselves. So yes, it may be a little rocky at times. I get that, of course, but at the same time, you do have everything within you. It is there, and the universe is supporting you. It's not against you, it's supporting you to really just clear your own patterning, your perceptions that you've held deep within you that you may not have even realized that they were there, and supporting you to be able to move forward. Remember that these eclipse portals, can last up to 6 months. And like I said right at the beginning, it is like it'd be like January, February, where it becomes a lot more evident. But the more you can work within, the more you can go within, work with the goddess frequencies, especially the dark goddess, the black goddess, the black Madonna frequencies, of being able to go within the void and be able to hold yourself in the void. And again, the Renaissance program really supports you to do that. Then I feel it's going to empower you so much and give you a lot more internal strength and courage, because I feel so many of us are just very sensitive. And so it's our sensitivity that can often keep us a little bit, because we go into overwhelm, and can keep us a little stuck. So yeah, so that's all I wish to say right now. So enjoy the eclipses. Let me know how you go. I'll be on social media, connecting in and inside my community as well. And I put all the details down below if you want to connect in further. So much love. Bye bye.